Hey, what's going on? Thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton, and this is going to wrap up the Winter Major Rookie Division. So congrats for making it this far. In this video, you're going to see the back nine. You're going to catch all the wind angles, and we're going to talk through some strategy to hopefully get you to the top of your standings. Thank you so much for watching throughout the week. You all helped me, hit 3,000 subscribers, which I'm very grateful for. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and become a subscriber. Please take a second there to just hit the thumbs up button and like the video. That means a lot to me whenever you're able to do that. And if you'd like to support my efforts throughout the week, you can find a link to my PayPal in the comments section below. Much appreciated in advance. Anything helps. Or you could also become a member to the channel and be added to our Facebook member-only chat group. And also remember, some of those proceeds do go to help support animal rescue, shelters, and endangered species. So we try to do some good with our platform here. All right, so let's go, baby. Hole number one. Hole number one, we're going to tailwind. I should honestly switch out to a Titan, but you know what? I had a couple Berserkers left, so I figured I'm just going to make it easy on myself and just go to green, no problem. Now, if you remember in the opening round, correct, we did have Tailwind, which I showed you how to play it with a Titan, and we were still able to reach absolutely no problem. It just required a little bit of overpower. But of course, here using a Zerk in Tailwind, not going to need any overpower at all. As you can see, I take a normal shot, and we're going to have no issues getting where we need to go. We clip the rough, and we roll out. And it's going to be a very simple chip in to pick up the eagle on hole number one. Hole number two, I decided to go ahead and just try to use quite a bit more overpower just to see if I could get it up there. Now, we just have to keep in mind that this is a different wind angle, so, it's going to play just a little bit differently as I'm trying to find the right setup spot on this hole. As you can see here, more of my white ring on the rough this time. Last time we had a gap between our white ring and the rough, but with this wind angle, I had to play it a little bit differently. You can see here now I've got my ball into the bottom part of the adjustment target with a little bit more curl. I think here we go a little bit too heavy on the curl, but the overpower, this is what I warned you about in the front nine, but you can see there we did not clip the rough, so we still came in nicely, rolled onto the fairway to the green, but we were a lot closer on the front nine. But again, different wind angle, but pick up the easy birdie here, and then we move on to hole number three and look for some drops elsewhere. Definitely don't like the wind going from right to left on this hole because it's going to put our ball guidelines showing to the rough. Now, of course, that's not going to be a big deal. As long as we hit perfect and we use our right curl, we'll be good to go. But we're going to pull this one 20%, and we're going to pull it 20% at max because we are getting a little bit of tailwind here. I did not put any graphics on the screen. That is simply because I am in a hurry, as we got volleyball starting here very soon. So I'm cutting it up against time, but I was able to squeak in and get everything done, but no graphics, so you will have to kind of listen to the elevations, but the elevations have not changed at this point. Many of you probably have them memorized. 10% at mid here. Now, the only thing that I did wrong is I clipped the rough, which isn't a problem. Still a very easy chip in to save our hole, but 10% at mid, perfect ball. I used right curl, and I just got a little too aggressive with the right curl. I was trying to sneak in a closer albatross, but ultimately I would need to line up the shot different, but we still picked that one up for the eagle. Okay, now we're going to go to hole number four, par three, which I think you guys can get. So I'm going to play this one here with 3 bars of backspin. And you can see here about 0.4 bars of side spin to the right. Now, I've got my ball guideline aiming to the hole, favoring the right-hand side because of the wind push, with my red ring up against the rough, as you can see right here. So that's kind of the setup spot. Now, I'm going to pull this one 10%. Okay, 10% at mid. Perfect ball, and we're going to be able to learn from this. Here, with the way this one kicks and the wind pushes, we're going to miss to the left-hand side, but you can see here the speed is perfect. We miss it by about 1 square to the left. So the first thing we want to do is add 1 bar of right side spin. So go ahead and go full right side spin. Try to play in the same area as me and see what happens. and I know a lot of you have multiple rookie accounts, that is going to be your starting spot. Do I think the ball is going to drop? No, probably not, but it's going to be closer than what I was, as long as you line up where I was and hit perfect. So from there, you'll be able to kind of learn what you need to do to drop it on your next account. But if you only have one rookie account, then full right spin, aim where I did, and that's going to get you closer than me. Okay, on to hole number 5. And I do think I hit every single ball perfect on the back 9. So hole number 5, this time I did use a little bit more top spin, like I advised in the front 9. I went with 3.5 top, 1 bar to the right, kept my red ring on the rough line. 10% pull, 10% at max, perfect ball. And we slide it up to 321. All right, so now we're going to be in a mid-distance rough bump, minus 20% elevation. We are playing this uphill, even though it's not. That's just how it works, minus 20%, which means you're going to pull way less rings than normal. You can take a look at my spin adjustment here. 1 bar right side spin, which is max, 1 bar back. I am favoring the right side of the hole, barely, just because of the wind push. You can see here, we're only pulling this about, what, 2.7 rings, 2.8, somewhere in that mix. And that's with 3.8 mile per hour wind. Perfect ball. And ever so close to picking us up an albatross. So what do we learn from that? Well, we learned we could probably just go with half a bar of right side spin and play the same shot and see what happens. So that's what I would do. If I were you, I would go 1/2 bar of right side spin, aim directly at the pin, minus 20% elevation. Check your own distance of your club, whether you're at mid, medium, or max, and get that baby in the hole. Okay, hole 5 brings us in for another very good chance for an eagle. And that's because we get to go bombs away with our berserker again. So if you remember on the front 9, okay, remember on the front 9, I pushed back up to max. I am not going to push up to max on this wind angle and where I'm playing it at, because I'm afraid if I do, then I will clip the rough instead of hitting the first fairway. So I just pulled a normal 10% here. I'm going full overpower with heavy on the left curl. Now I did hit a perfect ball, and I want you to pay attention to where my ball bounces. You see how close that is? Had I pushed up to max, I would have clipped that rough and would have never made it way up here. So sometimes, you know, you just have to have a good feel for the game and kind of visualize what would happen with an overpowered shot. So ultimately, I made the right call there. Now, we're going to be playing this one at 10% at minimum distance. Now remember, I'm at minimum distance. You may not be. It's going to all depend on how far or how less yards you get on your drive. But if you remember on the front 9, you went too heavy with the backspin, and I fell just short of dropping the eagle. So this time, I reduced the spin. I made sure my ball guideline was through the hole, as so. I did favor the right-hand side of the cup because we have to remember this green slopes from right to left. 10% at minimum favoring the right-hand side of the cup, and I'll be darned that if this thing doesn't just burn the left edge of the cup. So we need to just go ahead and play that same shot, but instead of being inside the cup with your ball guideline, just go ahead and put it outside the cup. So I would have the left edge of my ball guideline touching the right edge of the cup, outside of the cup. And then we can use that slope to naturally roll back into the hole. If you watch my pro videos, you saw me do that on the opening round front 9, where I offset the shot with the ball guideline that I'm talking about, and the ball was dead center. Okay, it's going to bring us on to hole number 7. Hole number 7, 10% at max. Now, I think I finally figured this shot out to get this funnel. And it's going to be right here. Okay, so second bounce on the fringe. That's what I'm looking for. I went back and watched all these stupid replays of me getting stuck at the top of that fairway there. Okay, now I'm going to pause it again. So, I'm not going to pause it again. I'm just going to show you what I'm looking for here. Okay. All right, so I moved that second bounce from the fringe. And I did the screenshot so you could see which bounce I was talking about. And then I moved my ball guideline around, or my target, around like this until I get that third bounce. Do you see that third bounce right there? Right in the middle of the fringe. So that's what I'm looking for. Now from here, you have to push your rings because these trees get in the way. But it's still 10% at max. Perfect ball. Now the ball doesn't go into the hole, but at least we get ourselves on the back end of this green. And we start to roll down towards the pin. Again, it doesn't go in, but you know, heck, at least we got there this time, right? Tough hole in one for sure. Not many people are picking it up, but that moves us on to hole number 8. Hole number 8, again, situation where I had to think on the fly. You know, since I'm going in blind and I don't know the winds here, I was prepared to take my normal Marlin shot. That shot probably wasn't going to be there in headwind, or at least not one that I would recommend. So I'm going to play this one mid-distance at 10% with a Kingmaker. That was just to reduce the wind. I could have definitely used a different type of ball. I mean, I could have easily used a Navigator. But, you know, again, going on the fly, I just had to pick a ball, which was going to be the safest approach for me instead of trying to line this shot up and then having to switch balls again and then lining it up again. Hopefully that makes sense. But you can easily play this shot with a Navigator. Or, you know, I would probably not use a Navigator, though. You could do it. I would probably use a Katana, you know, because then you get the extra side spin, which I think would be really beneficial on this hole in that wind angle. So Katana would be the ball that I would recommend. But either way, you can see we have no problem getting to the green. And that's going to bring us on to hole number 9. Hole number 9, I unfortunately, I think I put too much juice on the shot, right? I shouldn't have done any overpower because as you can see here, I don't have any room for overpower. I kind of just need to make sure that I hit this fairway and then roll out like we have been, but I don't. I don't even think I used any overpower. I must have just misadjusted my rings since I had to push instead of pull. But it looks like my ball traveled a little bit too far and hit the rough. But it doesn't really matter because, you know, from this angle, you can easily get yourself onto the green. Like, no problem. Like, even if I had a Kingmaker or a Katana, because of the tailwind push here, I could easily get to the green, as you're going to be able to see. And I kid you not that this shot comes very close to an albatross, probably the closest I've been all tournament out of the rough. Isn't that the way that it normally goes? Anyways, I pull it 0%. I pull it around max, but not quite. Slight great shot to the right. But you're going to see here the speed is really good. And who knows what would happen with a perfect ball. But really close to the albatross on hole number 9. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. I am disconnecting from Golf Clash for the rest of the weekend and going to spend some time with the family. So I appreciate everybody, and I hope you have an epic back 9 of the major tournament. Thank you.